intellectual minds, spiritually sound youth, men are raised. I repeat again. Selfless, intellectual minds, spiritually sound, heavily charactered men and ladies raised with deep honesty. That's when we will change the culture of this country. It's all these corrections people make to gain traffic. Those are just useless. They are making monies for themselves. They are not helping us. They claim to, but I know they are not helping anybody. So it is these qualities that will change our youth system and the future. Number one, you have to be selfless. Number two, you have to be intellectually sound. Number three, you have to be character sound. Number four, you have to be spiritually sound. And number five, you have to be honest. The Nelson Mandelas of their time had these qualities in them. They could sit before offers and reject offers because they saw the future of their country. They had privileges to travel overseas and live their lives. They choose to stay in prison. How many of our youth from the age of 20 to 40 can accept that kind of offer to stay in prison today? So before we start saying Nigeria is bad, Nigeria is this, politicians are this, I want to ask a simple question. These politicians, how many of our youth between the age of 15 to 40 are preparing themselves for leadership? And let me use here as an example. Now this cup is here, the way it is. And we finished. And then nobody saw you to pick it up. That's the problem that we have. Our youths are not observant. They can't keep relationships. Every relationship they keep is the one that favors them. If you correct them, they get angry. They are close to people who compliment them. They are not vision-oriented people. So the thing is a grassroots issue. People are not orientive in the right direction. So until we get that right, we'll just be correcting people. You correct your leader, correct your father's mate. That's what you do. You will correct your father's mate. Somebody who's supposed to be your father's mate. You will correct him. Correct people who are bigger than you, because you have the media space to correct people. Talk to people anyhow you like. Behave anyhow you want. And that's a leader that wants to lead people tomorrow. How are you going to lead people with that kind of approach? Because you are supposed to be balancing your approach. There's something in this person I need to learn. This person I need to learn. So it's your selflessness that will make you get access to be taught. So when you are not listening to anybody, how do you get there? So the problem is not politicians. How many of our youths in this country understand why we are where we are and what they have to do to come out of it? So until we get that right, we'll still be where we are, and then these men will still go into offices. How can somebody stay in a place for 30 years in an office? What's the problem? 40 years. The man in Cameroon has been there for 40 years as a president. Hey, we don't have, he's talked to a young man about, I have them here, responsibility. I just say, this is what to do. You come back, you still see, they're still making the same mistake. So the thing is not all about corruption. It's all about the mind of the people and what they see in the next 10 years of their lives. They just complain, blame, complain. I keep saying it. This complain and blame, I don't know who taught us. There's work to do, you are complaining. There's work to do, you are giving excuses. But there are things you are supposed to do. And it's very poor. And then the country is not raising healthy men, healthy ladies. And check around our houses. Check around the church. Check the church centers and our home centers and our office centers. Leave politicians alone. Check around us here. It's the same thing happening everywhere. There's no drive in people. They don't have foresight. No drive. Very lazy young men and women everywhere. So that's the problem. No extra mile mentality. There is no extra mile mentality. A lot of things are, if you do too much, they complain. If you do less, they are okay. They like just easy life. And nation building takes a lot. A lot to build. How can our president be 70 years old? The largest country in Africa. Why? Why? Where are the ambitious people from the age of 40? It's the problem of the youth. If they get these things done, they will get the best part of it.
All right, so this one says, good morning, Bishop. I totally agree with you on your line of thoughts. But then let's talk about power grabbing. It said that the forebear of a man who had been there for 40 years, he has also done some lot of power grabbing, hence blocking opportunities for young people like me to thrive. So in the light of youths coming out to take over, not necessarily taking over government, but also contributing our own quota to the development of our politics and our nationhood. How can we navigate these parts, especially in the case of power grabbing and our power toxic politicians, who against all odds, because of their position, can even drag the matter until it gets to court and gets so influential such that we no longer have faith in our judiciary because we know they are simply the puppets of the politicians. For example, my immediate elder brother ran elections in our state for the House of Assembly. It was so obvious that he won that election. But of course, you know the Nigerian thing. He went to court and then they swayed it to the other opponent. He tried to cause a row, but my elder brother is a very peace-loving person, as he takes a role model from Goodluck Jonathan, so he laid it low. Now 2027 is coming up. He is saying he's not interested because he had so much funds invested previously without any support. He just simply wants to focus on his business. So what do we do in this light?
I don't know why we are always trying to look for the evil parts of everything. Let's look at the scenario of David. David had a very bad leader around him, but he succeeded. How did he succeed? Saul was a bad leader. He didn't want power to be distributed. He wanted power to himself, as we described today. But he succeeded. How did he succeed? And why do we think it's only politics that we can make a difference in this country? Why can't we come together and open businesses for people? Industrial sectors where people will be employed. Why can't we have young men of 40 have businesses all over this country? Have you tried to check how many young men in this country that have businesses that is feeding people all over the country? Because it is that influence that will give you power. The man you talk about, Paul Biya, how many young men in that country are major market freedom men who have exercised capacity to take the labor market and feed the nation? Growth is tied to effective head. The reason why your father will still want to clean his shoes at home, because you, the son, has refused to clean the shoes properly. You are cleaning the shoe, but you're not cleaning the shoe well. So he chooses to do it himself and say he likes doing it. You'll be happy that he likes doing it. He doesn't, no father would like to clean his shoes by himself. Because anytime he gives you, you won't clean it properly. So he will decide to do it himself. So he can do it well because he's the one wearing it. Why will he iron his cloth when you are there? Because anytime he gives you, there are 3 lines. I may not, if he has told you before, you are either repeating the same error, so he's doing it himself. Because if you are effective doing that thing, He will give it to you. You know when to pick the cloth. You know when to brush the shoes. You know when to do the thing. He will give it to you as a lifetime responsibility. So leaders,
Hello and good morning. Welcome to Gospel Manager. It is another exciting time to be here and to be alive. We're grateful to God because He has brought us to our Quality Celebration Week. And the scriptural reference is 1 Samuel 18 and verse 7. The quote of the week, as given by our saint man, Dr. Maxwell, is celebrations are proofs of the works of God. And we are so confident that this week God is going to so work in your life that every area of concern will become a major miracle for you. You will indeed celebrate in your business, in your families, and all that concerns you. Welcome to Gospel Manager. And please share the links across your social media platforms. Let your friends know that God's servant is now live, especially those you know are having a bit of a hard time in whether their relationships, their ministries, their businesses, their careers, their academics, or even parenting and marriage. Let them know they could share in their questions at our email at thegospelmanager@gmail.com, and also by Telegram or WhatsApp text at +234-9047-533019. We've had questions all over the globe, very interesting questions we're going to deal with this morning, especially to our friends who are now joining us from Australia. Thank you for being part of the Gospel Manager episode on Friday. And we just want to encourage you to continue to stream the Gospel Manager across the social media platforms with which you watched. It meant so much to us that you had compliments sent to us about how impactful this has been for you, and we can't wait to hear your own testimonies. Please do note you could follow Gospel Manager at TikTok and also Facebook, and you could follow God's Servant at YouTube at Maxwell Golden Egbe, also on Facebook at Dr. Maxwell Golden Egbe, and across his TikTok and also his Instagram handles, Maxwell Golden Egbe and Dr. Maxwell Golden Egbe, for more inspiring teachings and clips, so you get to know what he is saying per time, especially regards his teaching. Yesterday's service was an impactful one as we celebrated the fathers, and we had series of Father's Day messages to God's servant. Thank you for Juliana, who sent in from UK. She said, "Happy Father's Day, Bishop. You are very impactful. Your teachings are very precise, and I just say we love you, and we hope to host you someday in the United Kingdom." And this one is from Alex. Alex was streaming from China. He said, "Good morning, Daddy. It's such a long time. Great to be honored to wish you a happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, my father. My family loves you, and I love you more." We also had one from Miriam. Miriam says, "Good morning, Bishop. Happy Father's Day. I celebrate you and all you do in the Gospel Manager." Also, we have from Juliet. Juliet from Akwa Ibom, Uyo. She said, "Good morning, Bishop. Happy Father's Day to the world greatest dad, a man filled with wisdom. And we pray that your oil will never run dry in Jesus' precious name." Couple of them, about 17, came in yesterday evening, and on Saturday evening we had a couple about 11. So thank you to everyone who wished God's servant a happy Father's Day, and we could tell that he loves us even more than we do love him, and he's going to keep standing for us, with us, and by us, come rain, come sun. All right, so it's our week of quality celebration. As I said earlier, God's servant is in the studio. I'm going to leave the floor now for him to give his opening remarks and set the course for this episode. Good morning, Dad, and welcome. Happy Father's Day again.
Thank you. The trade of the mind must be looked into again. I imagine what happens to the mind and what happens to people in their quiet time. What do they do with their minds? So, and what are those systems that supports them in their minds? And the actions of men are products of the support systems they have in their mind. That is why we must start paying attention to how we feed our minds. The quality of what you receive in your inside is a proper definition of what you become in your conversations and in your actions. As powerful as the lion, he doesn't reason. As powerful as the wild beasts we see, they don't reason as we do. So let's take care of our minds. And how do I take care of my mind? I have to start looking first inward with myself, and then my environment. These are the feeders that enhances the state of my mind. So let's start trusting God that we are going to deal with the things that don't go well with our minds, and do all we can to keep our minds healthy. Because when you start thinking healthily, you will start thinking productively. So an unhealthy mind will not be productive. So, but a healthy mind will surely be productive, whether by people, whether by labor. So let's deal with our minds carefully and bring out the best that life offers to us. To me, life is a privilege, and let's use this privileged life to be successful with it.
Life is a privilege, and we have to use the privilege life as given to us to be successful with it. Wise words from God's servant. Now we're going to take the first sets of questions. We have questions from ministers across the globe, but we'll first of all take this is from Pastor Rex from the United Kingdom. He says, "Good morning, Bishop. Please, my question is direct. It says, what are your strategies for handling committed but underperforming leaders or volunteers in ministry?"
Awareness is something we must keep building on people. I don't know how people learn, but I feel learning should be one of the most fantastic things to do, to learn. And the moment you see learning as something you have to do, it changes the ball game of everything you do in life. Anybody you see in leadership that is not doing well has not understood the power to learn. And the moment you know what it takes to learn and then begin to learn, even when you are in error, it's easier to correct you, because those who learn accept. Those who don't learn don't accept. So acceptance is a product of the one who wants to learn. And the one who doesn't want to learn will always have a way out, because the way out is not because he has solved the problem. The way out is because he doesn't want to be accused as the reason why things are not working. And the only way to handle such people is to keep constantly protecting your job. If it is a vision, you have to keep talking to the people and protecting the vision. Because if you allow them, they won't even know when they are destroying it. Some don't know they are destroying what you give them. They don't know that they are destroying. They don't know that not doing things excellently well is painting a bad image to the system. They don't know that allowing people to behave anyhow is causing lawlessness to the system. They don't know that not taking decisions when it has to be taken is making people lawless. They don't even know that talking wrongly and in the wrong places will create chaos. They don't know that. Eating in certain places can give you a problem. They don't know that. So when the leader does not know anything that he does that create crisis, he won't know what it takes to run the business. So the only way to handle such people is to consistently hit awareness. This is where you are supposed to be. Don't be here. It is that consistent awareness that alleviates them from that kind of mentality and put them actively to work. But to some, because they don't accept, because acceptance is not all about you listening. You may listen to me, but did not accept what I said. And because some people have it, I lead people, some people have this defensive mentality that they must explain why things are the way they are. And I've always told people, when you start explaining, you are a weak person. Because explanation makes you very weak. When you start explaining why a mistake was done, simply means you are not a good leader, because the first thing you should notice is that error. It was not supposed to happen for the first place. And check any leader who is a bad leader. He will first of all accuse the people who is leading, instead of taking strong decision to make sure that thing does not repeat itself again. So that decision that is strong enough is not there. So what will be there is accusing the people he's leading that they are the reasons why things are not working. So you need to be consistent in making sure those corrections are made. Never minding what the person thinks. Because image is stronger than personality. If your business is reducing in image, it will affect people coming to the business. So you have to, particularly church, when the church starts having some level of bad name, it's affecting growth already. So image brings the personnel. And when the image is wrong, personnel leaves. When the image is right, personnel comes. So we must consistently deal with leaders whose actions don't progress the system.
So much, sir. All right, this one again is from a minister, and it says, "Good morning, Bishop. Please, how do you strike the balance between trusting God for provision, financial realities of sustaining a growing ministry?"
We must do our best to understand that today's church is a very divided church. Very, very divided church. And so because of the divide that we are experiencing in the church today, we must be conscious that a lot of teachings have to go now. We must go back to foundations on how people are raised back. I keep saying it. How people are raised in church has to be brought back. Because the how now is very powerful, because we are very divided. So provisions in ministry now has to come through a lot. A lot. So I will sit here and tell you a pattern that will not suit you. Any pattern you know helps you to command provision. Engage it. If it is to pray, if it is to sow seed, if it is to read the word, if it is to show kindness. But I know that ministry is all about seed time and harvest time. So if you have not sown any seed in people's life, you will not reap anything. You know, I discovered no matter how people treat you as a pastor, Have you sown your seeds? If you have sown your seeds, the harvest will come at one time. So Genesis 8:22 is a very valuable scripture that represents that. So sow your seeds first. The seeds of labor, the seeds of raising people, the seeds of putting structures in place, the seeds of a lot of seeds have to be sown for young ministry to progress. So when you finish sowing that seed, then the maintenance process will start, then the harvest will come in. So for church, the seed sowing is the first thing. Sow your seeds first, and then the harvest will surely come.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, number 5. Another pastor says, "Good morning, Bishop. You're indeed a great man of God, and I tap in and covet the grace of God in your life. Please, how do you avoid burnout as a senior pastor while staying available to people who constantly need you?"
The only way to do that is to try to build people. When you build people, you will avoid burnout. If you don't build people, you will stay in that burnout. So try to raise people who will be consistently taking responsibility. Then that will be handled. If you don't build people who will do that to take you out of it, you will still have that crisis. So people have to be trained and people have to be raised. And that will aid that circumstance when it plays itself. But if there's nobody raised, you always fall back to that kind of situation.
This one is from Chinwabia Julu. She said, "Good morning, Bishop. I'm streaming from Abuja. A great morning, and I love your outfit." Says, "Please, Bishop, how can Christian singles manage loneliness without falling into compromising relationships?"
Loneliness is a product of laziness. When you are lazy, it reflects to a lot of thoughts. Disappointment in life is a disappointment. How do you get lonely in the process? Somebody disappoints you. Why are you lonely? Get busy with yourself. The outcome of any event is what you do to it. If I don't look a victim over a problem, it's not a problem to me. So the outcome of an event is what the reactions that comes is what defines what happens to you. So you are lonely because of what? Somebody left you, Abby. So your outcome should define that decision. So don't be a victim of some other person's decision of doing something to you, and then you now begin to say, it's because of this person I'm lonely. It's because of this I'm lonely. It's because of this I'm lonely. All of that is, to me, you are looking for attention. And I don't think all those life supports are needed today. Because you will end up becoming a victim because you're trying to look at people for life support, for love, for all of that. And that's I've always said, develop a self-awareness of yourself. Develop self-love, self-joy, self-happiness, self-competence, self-assurance. When you have all these not self-centeredness, self-love, self-joy, self-assurance, you know yourself. So if you get to the place where somebody has to do certain things against you that you did not expect, that's where those self-faith, self-assurance come in. So you don't break down totally that your whole life is shattered. Because man can be very mysterious and dubious in his actions, unconsidering. So you must prepare yourself for moments like that. You hear certain things about yourself, you wonder if you have ever existed in this life. You see people and you wonder if they had ever loved you. If they have ever loved you in their life. If they have ever loved you before. And you see people, you think if you have ever helped them. if you have ever played any good part in life. So when you are in the midst of all of these thoughts, what are you coming out with? Are you coming out with regrets, or you're coming out with strength? Because that's the most important thing. If you're coming out with strength, then the actions don't matter. But if you're coming out with regrets, then you're going to stay there longer. So let's be careful. Let's not, instead of you to build separation and think, sometimes when things happen, separate yourself and go and reflect. But don't be lonely. Reflect why it happened to you. Build that reflection, but don't be lonely. Why did I get to this kind of crisis in my life? What part did, because when you know the part you played, you know the, one of the problems is that we start our conversation by accusing people first. I'm here because Mr. A did this to me, so I'm here. I will forgive him. Why not start the conversation this way? I'm here because I allowed it. I'm the cause of this problem. If I did not get involved with this person, I would not be here. So I have a part to play that got me here. So you check your part that you played that led you to that difficult end and start trying to promise yourself that these things won't happen to me again. To me, that's the wise way to live. But to stay lonely, you are building an act that will destroy your life. And remember, nobody will come to a drowning man. People go to people who are successful. Nobody will come to a drowning man. Anybody who is around you is just there because he's indebted to you. The day they get tired, they will leave you. So nobody prepares to stay with a drowning man. You stay with people who are successful. So we must be careful. Don't be that person that is drowning, that needs help. Be that person that things happen to, but you are refusing to give up with life. Be like that. No matter what happens to you, don't give up with life. No matter what you hear about yourself, don't give up with life. There are things I've heard about myself. I even ask myself if I'm the person. I even ask if I'm the person. And these are people I have helped to, people I have sacrificed my monies, my time, and everything for. So when I hear it, but I have one fortress, and the fortress is, no man is God. So no man can be God. And no man can take the place of God. No man can kill me, and no man can destroy me. And no man can take the star on my head. These things were given to me by God, and you can't take this one. And no man can take my reasoning from me, because these ones God gave me. And no man can change the way I look. God gave me those ones. So there are things that God gave me that you can't stop. So that gives me the strength and the courage to get up every morning. I was looking very tired this morning. I didn't want to come here this morning. But I asked myself a question, that you have to keep doing this thing, because this is what you are assigned to do. So I'm here. So you must understand that. We just have to keep doing what we have to do right. But staying in the place of dejection, rejection, defeat, shatteredness, then you're just going to ruin your life. Please, somebody's hearing me now. Stay in that state will lead you to depression. And from there, a lot of things are going to go bad. That's a window for the devil to strike. Please.
Thank you so much, sir. This one is from an anonymous source, but it starts with, "Good morning and happy Father's Day, Bishop. Please, what are key signs that a relationship, even if godly, is not God ordained?"
The key signs is very simple. You know, people don't take advantage of momentary actions that people take. Those momentary actions that people take is who they are. Somebody who is not used to caring for people, you can't change the person. but he's caring for you. But he does not care for people. That's a very bad sign, but you don't know. Because he cares for you, you will not see it. But he is offended by everybody, but only you. That's a very wrong sign, but you don't know. He cares for you alone and does not pay attention to people. That's supposed to be marriage. And in that thing, there's going to be children. There's father, mother, brothers, and sisters involved in it. And you're not bothered about it. Those are signs to show that if the person only cares for you, that man will end up, that fellow will end up not caring for you. Because that's a love that is coming with interest. And you don't need to love for interest. I've always said, don't love anybody for anything he's giving you. Don't ever love any human being for what they are giving to you. How they look, and what the person does to you, know. Because this thing is not something you create. It's something that happens. I just love the way this person acts, live, everything about this person. It's an emotional thing. So why will a car and a house and a gift and intelligence become my side attraction? So there are little things around a man that you should check. Though you are in God's will, but because God's will has to be responsibly dealt with, it will become as if God was not there. Because there are certain things I'm expecting to know that you have raised yourself to know. For example, talking well in a conversation, there's no need God's will to do that. That one is something you will have learned how to conduct yourself when you're having conversations. So when you are talking, you are rude, you are talking anyhow, that's not supposed to be God. That is you that did not train yourself to know that though you are in God's will, but you did not manage yourself. Samson was in God's will, but did not manage his emotions and died in the process of doing God's will. So you may be in God's perfect will. The marriage is God's perfect will. But the trainings that will need that will to work, both of you don't have it. And then it looks as if it was not God's will. But it's God's will. But the trainings that you're supposed to go through to mature your minds, to handle yourself, you don't have it. So there starts to be crisis. You don't know how to conduct yourself. You don't know how to talk. You don't know when to serve meals. You don't know how to dress. You don't know how to present your bed life. These things God does not teach you how to cook. God does not teach you how to cook. God does not teach you how to be hygienic. God does not teach you how to talk. These are things you train yourself to know. So when you don't know all of that, the only thing you know is, as I was talking yesterday, is to control a woman. Control. No. Control. Bias. You become too biased because of some is your child. Very biased. And you think that that's marriage. Because if you truly understand that so many people have destroyed God's will for their lives because they were not trained to perfect that will in their lives. Because you have to be trained for God's will. You have to be trained. People are trying to, okay, Abraham was trying to help God, to go and have a child. What was he trying to do? To help God, What has happened to Abraham with that? The Iraq and Israel war is because of what? Is it not Ishmael and Isaac that is fighting? That's the thing. You're not trained to mature yourself for a prophecy to come to pass. So you want to do it your own way. So a lot of marriages are in God's will. They genuinely love themselves. But the training is the problem. These people are not trained. These people are not mature. The man is not mature at all. The woman not mature at all. Because of that, there's bound to be crisis. Though they are prayerful, though they serve God, though they love themselves, but they are not trained to be husband and wife. She has a bad mouth. When they were correcting her, she didn't want to listen. She has tendencies of promiscuity. When they are stopping her not to do it, she didn't want to listen. He had a bad anger in him. When they correct him, he gets angry. He humanizes. When he's being advised, he feels insulted. But these were the training that you would have gone through before marriage, which that God will not do for you. That you have to do yourself. So when you don't pass through those tests, and then you get to me, what do you expect to happen when you marry the right man, but you don't have peace in your marriage? You marry the right person, you love the person loves you, but you guys don't have peace. So I discovered lately that peace is not even in love. Peace literally is not even in loving somebody. It is your training that leads you to peace, not love. How you train yourself, how you speak, how you behave, how you conduct yourself is what gives you peace, not love. So you can literally lose God's will because you were not trained into a thing. You can literally lose God's will for your life if you are not trained into it. So let's check that as you progress with the things of God. And that's why I told them yesterday, every man needs somebody to rebuke him. And I have a young boy in England. He's literally a young boy. I've not known him for too long. But everything I have told him has come to pass. Everything I have told him. He's there with his wife. He has his first son now. Has come to pass. And he was asking me the other day, what will be the destiny of my children? Can you tell me? Are you seeing his progress in the conversation I'm having with him? He's telling me, when he got a job, when he went to England and got the job, he was asking me, showed me the office, should I work here? Make the choice. So it's as if he's progressing with me. I want to give a prophecy of certain things that happened, but he has progressed the prophecy. He's now telling me, tell me this, tell me this, tell me this, tell me this. You see, it's the training I'm talking about now. It's the training I'm talking about. If that guy has a crisis in his marriage, it will be solved. Because he knows who to talk to. He knows who to go and confide in. He won't do a man. No, he knows who to go to. So even when the wife was supposed to go to Ireland for some nursing offer and things like that, there was a big money offer in the table. He just told the wife, please, let me call my pastor first. When I said, no, don't go there. In the next 5 years, you're going to have crisis. That was the end of the conversation. So you see, though they are in God's will, they are seeking to know what next to do. And that's the training. That part-time instruction is what gives you peace in marriage, which a lot of homes don't have today. A lot of marriages don't have it. And that's why there are crises everywhere. If you can take this formula and put it together, there'll be no problem. So you may pray and God shows you a woman. But did you check if the woman was trained properly? If the man was raised by a responsible father? Because that one, God will not do for you. That is something that has to be built. And I'm spending time to say this because marriage is one of the problems we have today in life. 100% problem to man is marriage today, which was supposed to be the simplest thing to do. But the woman is not trained, the man is not trained, but they are in love. They love themselves. So they stay out till 2 a.m. They go and get drunk. They hurt their lives. They use words they're not supposed to use. They don't know what to do and when to do it. They don't know who to serve and who not to serve. So all of those things, there is control, there is power, there is love, there is husband, there is wife thing, but there is no maturity in the concept of how they handle themselves. They don't know who to respect and who to dishonor. They don't know who to block out of their family or who to accept in the family. Everybody has access to their home. They don't know who to say, no, don't do this. They don't know how to present themselves in public. And all of that is the training a child receives from either parents, from either church, or from either a mentor around the child. So let's really look at the training behind the person before you think of even the love the person is expressing to you. That is more important to me than love. Love can come by any means. If I give you 2 million naira every day, won't you love me? Every day I give you 2 million naira every day for 1 month, won't you love me? You will love me. That money can make you love me. So I've discovered that love can be provoked by any means. If I give you a house now in England, won't you love me? So love can be created. You can create artificial love for somebody's life by the gifts you give to the person. But I'm talking about some valuable foundations that can sustain love and the will of God for your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. One of the things that we enjoy here in Gospel Manager is not just counsel, but their wisdom for profitable living. Now, a good question to ask at this time is, God's servant had told us, told us that even though you have found somebody but have investigated if the person is trained. So one question that just popped in my head would be, okay, probably there are some people who have waited so long to find someone or for someone to find them, and then when the person finally comes, you get to see that this person is not trained. So at that point, what do you do? Should that person refuse your advice of being trained, particularly under a pastor? What do you do from there?
Either the person accepts to be trained or you get out of the person's life. There is no need to play with your life. Today, the mistakes we have made is that we have endured people into marriage. We have said they will change. So in this age, don't do that to yourself. You see that the person gives himself or herself to training, or the person gets out of your life. And you must define the kind of training you want. I have a pastor, or this is how we are going to do it. These things must stop. If they don't stop, I don't think I can get married to you. Don't patronize character. You don't sit there and patronize evil character. You don't do that to yourself. Don't patronize it. You are patronizing evil because you love the person. I don't those are things I don't do. You are patronizing evil because you love somebody. I don't understand that. Then you are wicked. You are a wicked person, because if you truly love somebody, you should stop the evil in the person's life. And that's where I feel love, that's what I feel love should be. The patronage we have today, that somebody is covering the husband for doing something bad. And if you can't even talk to the man in private, I'm not saying expose him in public. You can't even talk to him. If he comes out, we should be seeing the changes in the person, that because of it, the person has changed. The person, you defend the person in public, go back home, the same thing is repeating itself. It simply means you are the problem. You are the problem of that marriage. Because if you know better, you notice something, the next time it shouldn't happen again. But if you are observant, people can fight for things that are not necessary in marriage. Things that are not called for will be our interest of battle. They didn't serve you food. He's talking to another woman. He's talking to another man. Those are the battles to fight. But the one that has to do with destiny, your tomorrow, you don't fight for that. So patronizing evil in marriage is like patronizing the devil in your life. So when you see something that does not look like the piece of your future, my dear, sit down and address that thing immediately. This thing, if it continues like this, you may have issues tomorrow. So that thing that I see a husband quiet, a woman quiet, when the man goes out and comes back at midnight and he doesn't have a job. He's not working. The woman, because she feeds the family, shouts at the husband anyhow. And you are keeping quiet because you don't have a job. Why would you talk to your wife when you're stupid? She does whatever she likes. And then if you talk to her, she starts talking back at you. No, my dear. Money, the Bible did not say, thou shalt have money and head the home. That's not what the Bible said. Did the Bible say that? What did it say? Man, but the head of your home. Woman, submit. It did say, thou shalt have money and not submit to your husband. It says, submit to your husband. And man, love your wife. So let's understand that we have to help ourselves. So don't sit down and say, well, I love him, so I can bear with him. You cannot bear with somebody who you didn't give birth to. You cannot bear. You cannot bear. So you either stay in or you walk away. As long as it's not married yet.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, this one says, good morning, Bishop. Sir, please, can love be sustained without deep friendship in a relationship? And how important is emotional maturity to a relationship?
What is friendship? If I may ask you. Everybody sitting in this hall now, I've known themselves for 6 months. They are friends. That's friendship. What is friendship? That's friendship. Someone will say, marry your friend. Marry your friend. There is no language that marry your friend. What you should talk about, marry somebody you understand. Not, are you not my friend? I've known you for a while, Abi. Of course, you can taste things about me. What I should be looking at in anybody's life, who should be my spouse, is somebody who I can have a conversation with. Watch me. That even when I am wrong, and we have the conversation, I can be corrected. To me, that's the kind of person I want to sit with. You are not defending yourself, you are taking corrections. Because that's what matters in life. That I am learning from you, you are learning from me. That's what matters. So if I don't have that flow, that we can talk and say, well, this thing was not supposed to be like this. I understand. I got why you were talking, I saw my wrongs. And you are not showing attitude. You are saying, okay, I'm sorry, this is the truth. Now I know I made a mistake. I amend it now. And you are amending that error. And then returning back to yourself and don't carry attitude in it. That's the kind of relationship you should keep. But when correction becomes offensive, you cannot, to me, I cannot cope with that kind of person. Because I know you are wrong and you're carrying attitude. What for? So we must understand that the problems we have had in marriage is because we are marrying our friends. And a friend will cover your errors. A friend will cover your errors. Today's friend will cover your errors, will steal, will cover you. You will lie, person will cover you. You do all the nonsense, they will cover you. They will come to the public, they will cover you. They will do everything, they will cover you. Is that a true friend? Let's face the fact. Is that a friend? To me, that's not a friend. A true, genuine friend will be the reasons why you do what is right. To me, that is supposed to be who a friend is. If I'm with you in the same room, you will not keep my room dirty. Because I will tell you clearly, this place should always be clean. And you will not cook your food and eat it alone. We must cook the food together and eat together in that same room. We will do things together in that room. I won't allow you to do things on your own. If I'm with you in a place, we'll do things together. We'll contribute money together and do things together. I will do things to show you how things should be done. I won't do things alone. I will assist you in that room. I will care for you. So you will learn how to care for one another in that place. So, the problem is that we don't have the capacity to aid people and make people better. So we just use cliches around and try to give excuses why things are not working. I know we like to give excuses a lot. So to me, the best person to keep in your life is the one who can have conversations with you. Even when he's offended, then he can still talk to you. That's the kind of person you need in your life.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we'll move over to Carrie, and this is from Justin. Justin is sending his question from Boston. United Kingdom. He says, "Good morning, Bishop. So my question is direct. How should a believer handle prolonged seasons of career stagnation despite diligence and prayer?" I say this because back then, while I was in Nigeria, I had so much of my friends also complain about the same thing, and even now that I'm in Boston, the same thing plays. So how can we uh, deal with long seasons of career stagnation, even though we are diligent and prayerful?
Active service to God, and being led by the Holy Spirit, and then improve your knowledge. That's just all. So if it is spiritual, without active service with God, you can break the yoke of stagnation. If it is, maybe you are taking the wrong approach, the Holy Ghost will lead you on what next to do. If it is lack of knowledge, you will improve it. So these are the factors that will change that stagnation.
Thank you so much, sir. Another also sends this question. He says, "Good morning, Bishop. Should a Christian quit a toxic work environment or stay to be a light?"
I don't believe, there's certain things I don't believe in. What is toxic? Is it the way people talk and behave, Abi? All right. Let me ask you a question. If you are sleeping now, deeply asleep, you don't know, and I take honey and put inside your mouth, you've not brushed, what will happen to you?
You lick it
Why?
because it's sweet.
It's sweet. Now, if you are sleeping, you brushed your mouth, clean, and I now take bitter leaf, I'll point you, what will you do?
Tend to spit it out
Why?
because it's bitter.
So the choice is yours. Whatever you call toxic is your decision, not the people. Whatever you're calling toxic is you, not the people. I've just answered the question.
So there you go. What you call toxic is your choice and your decision. The next question says, "Good morning, my father. Happy Father's Day. My father, please, I'd like to ask this question. How do you deal with a boss who constantly undervalues or frustrates your growth?"
Nobody can destroy capacity because they didn't give it to you. There are certain things that nobody can destroy. Competence is not something you give to somebody. It's something you have. So one of the things I advise people to do is to go above people's expectations for them. Somebody sees you like this, and the person feels you are a nobody, and you're accepting it. Why are you accepting it? Don't run away from the person. Go above the person's expectations, and let the person know you are better than that. So nobody stops competence. You are the one to stop competence. So grow above the expectations. And when you grow above the expectation, your boss will be the one to seek your counsel. Laban did not believe in Jacob, but when Jacob grew above him, he knew that Jacob was blessed. Potiphar did not believe. Potiphar ended up almost ruining Joseph's life. When Joseph grew above him, he saw Joseph. So the problem is not the leader who does not want you to progress. Are you compatible enough to go above the leader's expectation and make him look as if he's weak? Because if you're still in that dream of saying, I have been maltreated, they don't want to see me, you will not grow. But when you take yourself a step further and say, because of these actions, I will do better, the leader will look for you. I like people who I serve to challenge me. And I will not run away from you. I'll prove to you that I am better, I'm smarter than what you think. Because we will not hear about the fire if those three boys ran away in the Bible. We will not hear about Daniel and the lions if Daniel ran away. We will not hear. So we are hearing about those stories today because this guy stood and faced that challenge. It's a challenge. that you have to face. Look for ways to solve it. Look for a way to outgrow it and become a blessing to that same system.
Thank you so much, sir. This one says, good morning, Daddy. My name is Miriam from Asaba. Sir, please, one thing that is now growing very rampant in this city and also in the surrounding city like Ibuzo is cultism, and funny enough, amongst secondary school students. We hear about curfew because of the activities of these young adults. How, how can we curb this cultism? Because you may not even know your child is in the cult until probably you get to hear it from somewhere else. So please, sir, how can this be monitored outside government action?
It has nothing to do with government, it has to do with family. You see, how strong a child looks is how strong the family looks. So what's the strength of the family of that child? Is the strength of the parents or the guardian that defines what happens to that youth. So if we want to solve it, we have to go back home and start building honest minds, strong minds. So when they go to school, they won't be influenced by the school. I've always said, whatever happens to a child in school is because the child was not properly handled at home. If you're handled properly at home, you will not have a problem outside. So let's handle our homes right and stop being friends to our children and be parents to our kids. So let's be parents to our children. Let's not be friends to them. Let's ask certain questions and let's teach the kids what they have to know. When we do that, those systems will not play themselves. And if they end up doing, we will correct it when they come back home. And so don't say, but today, parents literally send their kids out of the house. You don't even want to see them. He is mature, let it go. Go and plan your life. At what age is he planning his life? At what age is the child being asked to stay alone? A girl that does not have a sense of direction is staying alone from her parents. No guidance, no nothing. And you expect that child to do what? Grow by magic and grow by what? In what platform? What are you trying to do? You don't want noise, I beg. You don't want noise. The noise, when the noise starts coming to you, you need noise. Noise. So let's understand that some of the crises these kids have faced because there are no people in their lives who really can observe. We are only paying attention to gifts. We are not paying attention to character. All we are paying attention to is gifts, no character. We are paying attention. If you see a child now that is gifted, everybody will go close to that child. The one that has manners, we are not close to the child. We are not paying attention to the character of people, not gift. If two people are here now, one has gift, one has character, you go to the one that has gift. The one that has character, you won't get close to the person. Conducted, well-behaved, polite, no, we won't be close to that person. The one that is very gifted, everybody will be close to the person. And that's the reason why we are spoiling people's destiny with that. But that gifted boy or girl needs manners. That character person already has the virtue of a good life. If gift is added, it's an addition. Already that virtue of character is a good life. So let's pay attention to what we sell and what we advertise in children and what we need to defend as either parents or guardians. Because if we don't do that, there's nothing the government will do. The government is only trying to damage control what is already there. But for us to kill the root cause, we must go home and kill the root cause of these problems. Because they all start at home. They all start from the house. From the house. So I believe this will help any parents.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, we'll take the last questions for this episode. This one was sent by email and she's sending again as a reminder. and then we'll take the last one from this fellow. So the first one is from Susan. She says, "Good morning, Bishop. Please, there had been a debate about should a man kneel down while proposing to his wife, or is it a Western culture that is not necessarily?" The debate was intense, and they were saying that it's the woman that is marrying the man, even though the man was to pay her dowry, and if she says no, the marriage won't stand. Hence, he has to kneel down and beg her to marry or accept the proposal. Now, the second question, it's from Mr. Alex. He says, "Good morning, Bishop. I had followed you right from where you served and up to this moment through my cousins who actually are your flocks. My question should be, should pastors openly endorse political candidates, or should they stay apolitical?"
There are some conversations that are not necessary. And how you feel about a person can define how you behave. I want to go this way. I won't come here and say, "Hey, the Bible did not say you should kneel down." I won't do that. Because we try to buy attention. I'm not looking for anybody's attention. The way you feel about somebody is the way you act towards the person. If the way you feel about a lady is that you have to lie down to propose, that's your choice. If the way you feel about a lady is to kneel down, that's your choice. It is you. Nobody should say it's a Western culture. It's me. That is the way I want to do. The ring inside Egbe, it's still you. So you want to put the ring inside chicken, it's still you. It's how you feel about the person. So let's not try to bring a certain controversy in a situation. It is my mind, and this is the way I feel about it, and I want to do the way I see the lady. So that's my choice. It's a personal thing. So if I don't like doing it, it's still my personal decision. Some people don't like opening doors for women. Some like it. Some don't like. Some people serve breakfast to their wives on bed. Some don't serve. Some don't cook in the kitchen. Some cook with their wives in the kitchen. So all of that, there's no standby law. You understand that this is what we should do in those situations. So if I remember what I did, I cannot really remember. I have to ask my wife what I did to her. But the thing is simple. Whatever works for you, go ahead and do it. But don't go and do what works for another man. Whatever is working for your marriage, it should be what you do. But I want to say this as a caution. Don't make expectation a problem. If you expect that the man has to kneel down and he didn't kneel down, that does not define that he will not be able in marriage. So don't use that now and say because he didn't kneel down, I won't marry him. You may destroy your marriage that was supposed to be a blessing to your life. You may not be exposed to that. You may not have the idea for that. So don't ruin a marriage because I went and swallowed it. All of that. So the most important thing is to understand that I have a marriage to build. That kneeling down will not build a marriage. I have a home to build. 1 minute presentation. Okay, the ones that I see on Facebook that do marriage shower and they divorce after 6 months. What is that? You hear I'm out. But they did engagement. There was a video. Red flower, everything. That one passed. Then they came for proper proposal, another shower. They did not did a massive wedding. After 6 months, they're out of the marriage. A local man who just took his wife to one corner and said, "Marry me." You agree, bring paper and put in the woman's hand. They are 20 years in marriage. Your own wood that everybody saw is 6 months. So let's be careful. There are no standards in this thing. How you feel about the thing, just act on it. For political parties and pastors, every pastor has a child. And I will not be endorsing somebody that is not my child. So there are certain things that you will get personal about. If I don't know the person and I like his governance, I'll wish him well. But I won't come to the public and endorse someone. There are private endorsements on people's life. But that's my child. On the grounds of parenting, a pastor can do that. But on the grounds of public view, a pastor can just love a candidate and bless him. But may talk once in a while about the person. But it's not commanding his flock. The only thing I will not do is to stand on my altar and command my whole flock to vote for somebody. That I will not do. Because in that system, there are people in different parties too who are members of your church. So that is chaotic as a pastor. You are creating crisis for the church. So all you need to do is to endorse the person privately and be preaching on governance, speak on the well-being of the benefit of voting for the right person, and let the people decide that. But saying you will stand on your pulpit and be endorsing one person when you have a lot of factors, because you're a pastor. You're a pastor to everybody. Everybody is your sheep. So you have to be careful with that. Because you will create more crisis for the people than the politician himself. And when they are doing that elections, you might divide your church. And that's why I'm one person who strikes here with the truth. I won't change from that. When people were fighting or talking about, this is the only church that they didn't do those when they raise the chanting, I react against it. There's one time I was preaching one day, somebody was probably obedient. I shouted from this altar to stop that rubbish. Immediately. You don't do it here. Because it's not a one church party. And I have people in PDP, I have people in APC, I have people in Labour Party. Oh yeah, the church is an organization of a universal interest. So though you may have your own interest as a person, that's your private business. Wouldn't I vote for somebody? So I have to come and tell you because I vote. No. That's your choice. So let's be careful with that so we don't divide the people. Because if that interest fails, you're having a problem already as a pastor. And then that's where the defense now will begin to come. You now start to talk down as a pastor because you didn't lay the foundation correctly. And if the person wins, you now say, I said it. You know, we are marketers. One of the best marketers in the world is the pastor. So if the person now wins, we will now say, the person, how we give the prophecy, how it came to pass, and all of that. But diplomacy in handling those things must come to play because the crisis is much today. People are really divided in the church, and it's not good for the church and the image of the church.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you to everyone who sent in the questions, especially this last set of questions that got everybody interested in the topic. I don't know why questions around relationships are so interesting, but however, like God's servant had given us the counsel, let us live by them. Remember, we said here in Gospel Manager, we don't just receive counsel, but we live and turn counsel into wise living and wisdom living for our profitable use. Now, please join us this Thursday for our midweek service. The time is 4:30 p.m. and God's servant is still teaching on quality triumph with the subtitle on praise. We are taught how praise becomes a weapon to gain quality triumphs in life, business, and also in all that concerns us as individuals. So please make it a date with us. If you are in the city of Asaba or its environs, please join us at Rehoboth City Honor International. Our doors are always open to receive you in love and hospitality, because that is what we stand for. And we are sure that you will get a word that will transform your life and all that concerns you. You can stream online from all the social media platforms you're streaming this from, And please do share the links to your friends, your families, even to your pastor friend. They'll get to see the level of excellence in God's servant and are able to convert from wherever they will be. Now, also join us on Sunday for our amazing services, the quality celebration services. 3 amazing services. The first is 6:30 a.m. The second is 8:30 a.m. and the third is 10:30 a.m. We're continuing the teaching series of the untouched secrets of rest. God's servant has been dealing with us on the importance of the church to our daily living. A very profound message. You could also find them on his YouTube page at Maxwell Golden Egbe. Should you have missed anyone, don't worry, we've got you covered. Go to YouTube at Maxwell Golden Egbe and you get to see all of these amazing teachings that are very life-changing and transformating on his YouTube page. Please note that there is a special broadcast this Friday at 8 p.m. is the professionals, where God's servant sits with our very esteemed members who are co-hosts of that event to answer life's difficult questions and also give profound solutions that dissolves doubts in every area. A very interesting topic will be broadcasted this Friday. If you want to be part of it, then get to tune in on YouTube at Maxwell Golden Egbe on YouTube. You get to see it. And to our friends who are at the Middle Belt and the Core North and also around Nigeria, you could stream that same service on Honor TV to be live at 8 p.m. You need to hear God's servant in every platform that you have the opportunity to listen to him, and the professional is one of them. So I'm going to leave the floor now for God's servant to give his his closing remarks, and then bless us for this quality celebration week.
Let's improve our conversations. Let's improve our conversations. It's important we do that because man is getting distracted a lot. So let's improve our conversations as people and check how you are getting better in your conversation, because if you get better conversation wise, it affects your dignity. So let's improve our conversations and try to add substance to the things you say. How do you know somebody is a child? It's the way the person behaves. It's not the way the person lives. How you behave tells me you're a child. So I won't ask you of your age when I see you behave. I can tell your age. So let's improve our conversations. And one of the things that will do for you or to you is to give you a better image when your conversation improves. So any image you see you have, people see you a kind, people see because your conversation has not improved. When your conversation improves, you will notice that your friends, the people who are attracted to you, will change. Because your conversation has improved. So, and this is what I want to leave behind for everybody. Go and improve your conversation and see how better you become. Stay blessed. May your days be so blessed. May you enjoy the best and the best, ever the best in all that you do. Remember, don't be in a hurry. Take your time. Errors are product of hastiness, and allow God to lead you. God bless you.
Unhurry or hurry, errors are product of hastiness. God's servant speaking with us in our time of prayer 2 days ago said we must make sure we are teachable and we walk with reverence. That's the best way to live and to succeed in life. And he has told us this morning also to check our conversations. Make sure your conversations are one that teaches you and are also reverential. It changes your image and it sets you on the course and pedestrian of success in life. Life is beautiful, and you, my friend, you can always handle it. Gospel Manager returns on Friday at 7 a.m. and we can't wait to have you. God bless you and enjoy the rest of your week.
Praise is your ultimate lifeline for change. Praise is also is your weapon of a lifetime victorious living. If you want settlement, you must need praise for settlement. Your complementaries in life defines your existence. To be responsible in worship is to be responsible with your life. Let me tell you something people don't know. The person you please is owing you. The person you offend will ignore you. If you please God, God is now owing you. Cain and Abel are clear example, Genesis chapter 4. Clear example to show you. Two people did the same thing. One was respected, one was dishonored. It's the way the person came to God. Cain did not bring corrupted crops. He brought his best crops to God. But his attitude was the problem. He was giving that thing with a grumbling spirit. Why would God demand for such a thing from my hands? And God said, okay, so your mind is bitter, Abby. Take your crops. But Abel came with his own dancing and excited. That was what God respected. God respected the attitude of Abel, not the gifts that he brought. So sometimes you are not pleasing God. That's why things are the way they are. You are just pleasing yourself.